Alright, so we got the car together. We checked the ride height, the camber, and the front steering toe. One of the final things to do is we got to set up our radio, especially the steering settings in the radio. And I'm going to run you through that right now. So we have our car ready here. I have my radio on. Go ahead and follow your radio manufacturer instructions for binding and setting up a new model. I've already done that. So now I'm just going to power up my speed controller, and first thing I'm going to do is I did start with a brand new model, so I have everything at 0, my sub trim, my regular trim, my endpoints. These models are connected, so as I turn, you can see the wheels are turning, but they're clearly not straight. So first things first is if I turn to the left, does the wheel go to the left? If not, you need to go into your radio and reverse the direction. Fortunately, mine is already correct. Left is left and right is right. So to get the tires straight, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna adjust a setting called sub trim. You don't wanna adjust your regular trim until after your sub trim has been set, and you adjust your regular trim basically when you're on the track. Shouldn't be in the pits. So on this, I'm gonna need to move it to the right a bit. So you can see it's getting a little bit closer, maybe a little bit more. Five more should be good. Okay, so now we have the tires straight. Next thing we need to do is to set the endpoints, or on the Spectrum radios, it's referred to as travel. It's basically how far the servo can turn to get the wheels to full lock. You can see on this model that I get to full lock long before I ever run out of steering throw on the radio wheel itself. So I need to go ahead and I'm going to turn to the left, and then I'm going to turn down that travel or endpoint adjustment to the left. And what I like to do is I like to go past where I need to and then actually inch my way back up to the right setting. So you can see right now I'm not getting full lock. If I go to grab the wheel and wiggle it, it can still turn tighter. And I'm at 65, so I'm gonna go up a few. Now I'm at 70, can still wiggle the wheel a little bit. 72, and I have like maybe one more click, just a little bit of wiggle in there. Now you can see I'm not wrenching on it, but I'm giving a little tug, but it's definitely sitting, the wheel is sitting against the stop there, and that's what you want. I could maybe go one more, so it just sits against a little firmer, but that's it. If it's going further than this, then it's loading the servo against the suspension arm, and it's also gonna bind up the suspension. It could lead to premature failures of your servos. It's gonna take away some of the steering feel that you have in the radio because it's not working linearly through the motion of the wheel on the radio. So it's really important to set these correctly. So when I go and I'm doing the right side, I already did the left and it's at 74. So I'm just gonna set the right to about 65 so that I can inch up from that setting. And you can see here, need to go up a few more. Okay, I'm at 76 and I need maybe one more. Yep, perfect. So now I have full lock left, full lock right, and centered steering. Now if I go on the racetrack and let's say the car is pulling slightly to the left or the right, at this point I want to use the regular trim and not the sub trim to get the car to track straight with no steering input. That'll basically keep the radio system set up so that the window of full travel doesn't move. If you move the sub trim, then you need to go back in and adjust those travel or endpoints. So if you adjust the regular trim, it just moves where the center point is within that window of travel, which is what you want to do. So we have our steering set, and now we're ready to move on to the next thing and get ready to hit the track.